Hi, this is Tracy Collins of Healthy Black Girl Podcast, a weekly podcast centered around Black women in all aspects of our mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and physical health and healing. Come join us on this journey. Hey everyone, this is Tracy Collins, and thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Healthy Black Girl Podcast. And today we are closing out our season 3 with Phontaine Thompson. Thank you so much for joining us, Phontaine. Phontaine is a mental health advocate. She is a public speaker, but she is also the founder of Women's Mental Health Day, and it is going into its 3rd year conference, y'all. So we're going to highlight that and talk about that and amplify that. But Phontaine, thank you so much for joining us on the Healthy Black Girl Podcast.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
So I want to take it back. Just talk to us about why you have deemed women's mental health so important, and then what got you started on this journey?
So what got me started on this journey is when I was 15, I attempted suicide twice. So I do have a background of dealing with mental health issues. And of course, I'm a woman, I'm a mom. So I wanted to speak to other women who are like-minded, who have dealt with issues, dealing with mental health issues in the past, and they are adults now and want to make a change and break those generational curses, who've decided to okay, now I want to look into therapy. And that's what our conference is all about. It's just about promoting therapy. And that's the reason I do it. I'm pushing people to go to therapy.
When I tell you, I am a big proponent of mental wellness and mental health and therapy. Just like you check out your physical body, you have to make sure that your mental health is not separated from that we are checking ourselves up from the neck up. So why is it, aside from being a woman yourself, why is it that you have really leaned into the mental health and wellness of women?
So I believe that we go to the doctor, of course, more than men do, but that's, of course, our body, what's going on the inside, or we visit our OBGYN, or we're going to the doctor because we're expecting a baby. But with all that being said, those go into our daily lives, being moms, and it's like the one thing we put on a back burner is ourselves. And I want to specify the fact that it's not just Black women. That's why it's called Women's Mental Health Day. It's women, period, because even if you're not a mom, we're the caregivers of life. And that's from all aspects. That's from all races. Women are really the foundation of the family, because, you go back into the day and you realize, okay, the man is bringing home the bacon, but I'm holding everything else down while you're at work. So when you do come home, you have a nice place to rest and relax. But while you're not here, it's chaotic, So I think for women, we don't take breaks, and we don't have any kind of, sometimes we don't take a peaceful break. Okay, it's fun to go on vacation with your man. It's fun to go on vacation with your family and your girls, but what about yourself? At the end of the day, what about you?
So what are you seeing more in your line of work as it pertains to the mental care that is lacking? Where are you seeing the gaps, or where are you seeing the deficits?
So the gap I'm seeing the most is that people aren't educated enough about when it comes to getting help, because I feel like a lot of people think that there's this label that's put on people when you get a therapist or you sit and talk with someone, because it's like you have to admit that something's wrong, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like a label put on it. But if you feel like I need to go to therapy, it's something there telling you that something's wrong. You need to talk to someone. You have a feeling because you're thinking about going to therapy, but sometimes you just don't know how to take that next step. And that's what we do at my conference. It's all informational, but I don't want people to think it's death by PowerPoint. We give you the information and the resources, but we're, baby steps to lead you up to getting into therapy, because at the conference, the speakers are therapists. They're actually licensed therapists. So I want to make sure that the women at the conference are getting the right resources and the right information. Because yes, I'm a mental health advocate, but I'm not an actual doctor. I didn't go to school for this. This is just, I'm advocating for people in mental health. You know what I mean? I'm advocating for people to go get help with their mental health. But at my conference, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the steps to lead up to going to therapy, and just, not being denial about going.
Mm-hmm. How has your work impacted your relationship with your daughter?
Oh, wow. So I don't even believe, to be honest with you, my relationship with my daughter has nothing to do with what I do. It's just from my past. I didn't have a really good relationship with my mom, and only because she wasn't the type of person that opened up and talked to me about things, and she didn't have we didn't have a relationship where I felt comfortable going to her. My mom was extremely strict. And it wasn't until I got into my 30s that I had to realize, like, okay, I learned that my mom is nothing but a product of her environment.
Right.
So when I was 18 and I found out, I got pregnant and I found out I was having a daughter, I made the conscious decision at a young age of 18, being a young teen mom, that this is not gonna be the same the way it was with my mom. So outside of me being a mental health advocate, I've decided with my daughter to have an open door policy. My daughter knows she can come to me and say, Mommy, I need to talk to you. I will literally stop what I'm doing and sit down and talk to her. And I make sure that when she's talking, I'm listening, not interrupting her, making sure that I'm present in the moment, not always ready to respond. I have to be cautious of what she's saying and like lean into her body language and how she's speaking. Is she welcoming me to say something back to her, or a response, or some type of criticism, or what's the word I'm looking for? Advice, or does she just want to release?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because she's 16 now. When she was a little girl, she was just telling me about stuff at school, and I'm just listening, just little patty stuff on the playground, right, and stuff she did over the weekend when she wasn't with me. But now I'm really being cautious of listening, because she is becoming a young lady. So I make sure that's the difference between my relationship with my mom and my relationship with my daughter. I'm breaking that generational curse of being there, being present, and listening to my teenage daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our parents come from a generation of, do as I say, not as I do, or, a child is to be seen, not heard. So when we talk about breaking generational curses, we have to break them in all aspects and be the change that we want to see. So it's so good that you are really speaking to how you're parenting her and how her voice, her feelings, make a difference, and how you are responding differently to her to give her that space to express herself. So in my house, it's like I'm a big, my 18-year, I think she just turned 19. And I think she's actually right now in an appointment with her therapist. Like, okay, I can't break them up. They've been together since she was 16, child. You would think that's another, I don't even affair in relationship no more. Like, they have got that locked and keyed. I mean, they were like, we gonna be together whether you want us to or not. And I wanted to specifically find a Black woman therapist for her. That was another, like, she's a mother, but she also can guide her in a way that is going to be supportive and conducive and healthy.
She's not biased.
No, she's totally not biased. And so when I tell you them two, I just, girl, I was like, Mahogany, I'm not picking. Come on now, girl. And she was like, we gonna work it out. And they do. They do. And then
we also, because your daughter, she's an adult, but she's still a teenager.
Right.
And we also have to be cautious that we did a good job too.
Yeah. We tried.
We have to trust that, okay, like, they're here now. We have to trust that we did a good job and trust them to do things without us, because isn't that the whole purpose of raising them the way we did?
Right.
So they can go out and be good citizens. So we have to trust the process of what we did.
So let's talk about this conference, child. So let's get, first of all, when and where is it?
Okay, so yes, Women's Mental Health Day is September 9th. It is right here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mhm.
And it is a day for all women to come have a good time, get some great information, meet some new people. We're going to be networking. We're going to be talking about therapy. My audience is going to get on the mic too and ask questions to the therapist. We're going to have a sleep specialist because this year our theme is a silent night. The reason why you can't sleep is because you got too much going on up here. So it is a pajama party. I want everybody to show up in their pajamas. We're going to have a good time. We're going to eat. I got to feed y'all. So, so all in all, but outside of all the fun and it being a pajama party and everything else, we're going to talk about our mental health. I have a specialist who specializes in anxiety.
Nice.
That's something that we have really got on lately, the last couple of years, especially coming out of the pandemic. A lot of people have been diagnosed with anxiety because it's like, I was in the house for 2 years, now I got to come back out. You know what I'm saying? So I have an anxiety specialist coming in, and I have a sleep specialist coming, an actual doctor from Emory University. She's going to come and talk to us about our sleep patterns and how much sleep we're supposed to be getting and how our mental health affects our sleep. So again, it's September 9th, ladies. I want to see y'all there. Again, come out, be cute, and be in your pajamas.
I'm going to make sure that you guys, we link all of the information in the description below. So if you are watching this, please feel free to look down in the description. If you are listening to this, please make sure you click back and look at the description so you will be able to find all of the details to attend and support and just have a good time, but in a healthy way that is really going to propel you forward. So, I want to say that I'm so grateful to have people like you who look like me, who are out here doing this work and advocating for all women, because we need to make sure that we are impacting change, lasting change, but in a healthy way that can help sustain, and that you are also in your own testimony just teaching people how to break the curses, that we don't have to be the parents that we were raised with. And also understanding that those parent structures were designed out of survival. So now that we have all of this new information, that you are embodying that. So just the work that you are doing, I just think it's amazing. I know it's not easy. So give us some tips. Give us the top 3 tips that you would recommend that you also implement yourself as far as taking care of you, that you would like to share.
Ooh, so 3 of them. I'm gonna start at number 3 because I already know what number 1 is for me. So number 3 is identifying that you need a break. You need to talk to someone. You have an issue. Identifying that something's wrong, right? So number 2 would probably be taking care of your physical health. Get moving in some type of way, whether it's going walking for 15 minutes or doing some type of stretching for 15 minutes. Just start somewhere. You don't have to do like a whole hour workout or anything like that. Just do something. And my advice will always be get outside, because I like being outside. And I feel like being outside is real therapeutic.
It is.
And being around, feeling the wind on your face, feeling the sun on your face, no matter if it's cold or hot outside, just get outside and get some light, some sun, And my number 1 always is to find some time in the week and sit in silence. I really
that again, baby. When I tell you I love silence.
Find some time. And let me tell you something. You're not the only person that asks me this. Like every time I do a podcast or an interview or I speak at a conference, I always get asked this question, and I always bring it up when I'm speaking. Find some time in the week to find silence. Get into a space, and you're not getting ready for a nap, so don't lay down. But get into a situation where you are by yourself. There's no music, no phone. Quiet time. If you could do it at least once a week, and then after maybe 2 weeks, do twice a week. After that, try to do 3 times a week, and just so on and so on. Because I started doing it when I was working in the ER. One of the doctors in the ER, she told me, she was like, as soon, because she had older kids, she said as soon as she got home, well, no, she had young kids like I did at the time. She said as soon as she would get home, her kids knew, don't run up to mommy, give me 1 hour.
Right.
Because she needed that gap in between work and home.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do that. So literally I went home that day and did that. And I told Nala, I said, because you know your kids run up to you when they little and they like, mommy, mommy, mommy. They haven't seen you all day. And I was like, Nala, give me 1 hour. And for me, I would do light too. So I would go in my closet and just be in the dark, because you giving your brain a whole full reset, right? So I would sit in that closet, no phone, no nothing, for 1 hour, silence. I wasn't laying down, going to sleep. I would just sit there in the dark, just silence. And when I tell you, when I would come out of that space, I'm like, okay, I can function at home now.
I love that. I love that. One of the things that I do, my morning routine is so important to me. And my morning routine, I'm up before everybody. And by 8 o'clock, like I'm in my closet's pretty big. So I go into my closet, I do a minimum of 10 minutes of yoga, a maximum of 30. And then I go downstairs and I check on my plants. I light my ancestor altar. Like I have a lot of plants in my house, and plants are so healing.
Wild Kingdom.
It is. My house is Wild Kingdom. And I do that. I make coffee, and then I sit and I drink my coffee in my meditation room with my plants. And what I've noticed too is that my plants respond. When I go away from home for like a week or two, they can be watered, but their energy level is like they droop. They really respond. So them being living beings, they thrive off of my energy too. So I use that time. From the time that I wake up until the time that I start working, it's about 2 hours. And I sit in silence. During that time, I drink my coffee, and I really give myself an opportunity to come into the day, to come into myself. And I only introduce natural light in. I don't do harsh light. And I do it on purpose because I allow my body
open up the windows.
Wake up. Yeah, and have that natural light come in. And drinking water. I always drink water as the first thing that I put into my system. So I'm such a big advocate of what you just said, of like giving yourself that time of sitting in silence. Let me just say this, the kids don't stop coming to you when they older. It seems like they come to you more now for me when they're older, so I definitely need me time. Before
and let me say this, like something you said about the flowers not really thriving when you're not there. I just got back from the gym, and when I was driving to the gym, I saw a Pike's Nursery. Remember those back in the day? So we had one in our neighborhood back in the day, but they shut it down. But when I passed one I was like, I didn't know that Pike's Nursery is right there. I remember asking my mom back in the day, because she had plants and flowers. I'm like, why do they call it a nursery? I'm like, why do they call it that? And she was like, because they're taking care of, the plants. So it's like a nursery for plants. So with you saying that they stopped thriving when you weren't around, it's something to consider for ourselves too. You're not going to thrive if you don't take care of yourself. Right. Those plants and flowers need attention every single day. If you just go one day without taking care of them, it's going to show. So we have to do that for ourselves too, right? We have to do that for ourselves. You water the plants. Did you drink your water today?
Absolutely.
You get those plants plant food. It's only for them. It's a natural plant food that you give them. Have you had a healthy meal today? It's good for your body. Have you taken
that sunlight?
Right. Have you taken your vitamin today? The plant got to have some sunlight and some wind and some air. Have you got outside and had some sunlight? You know what I'm saying? So the same way we take care of our kids, the same way we take care of our pets, our plants, our flowers, we have to take care of ourselves also. I can't pour from an empty cup.
We're not doing that no more.
Yeah.
We're not doing that no more. We're only pouring from saucers at this point, which is the overflow. We're not pouring from any cup.
We talked about that. We talked about that. I remember that.
We pour from the saucer, child. We ain't pouring from no cup. We're pouring from the overflow only. And if none is left in that saucer, then you need to fill your cup back up and let that overflow come in.
Yes, so, I remember we talked about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, Phontaine, again, for what you do. Thank you so much for being a part of the Healthy Black Girl Gang. Thank you so much. And repeat again when the conference is happening.
So the conference, Women's Mental Health Day, is September 9th, 2023, September 9th, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. The tickets do go on sale May 1st. And let me say this, May 1st, you want to click on the link in my bio on my Instagram page. Trust me, at noon on May 1st, if you click that link, it is a surprise for a couple of you women, the first come, first serve people. But yeah, May 1st, the tickets go on sale. September 9th is the actual date of the conference. September 9th, save the date. I want to see you there. I want to take a picture with you. I want to hug you. We're going to all be in pajamas and we're going to have fun to get this information.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you
for listening to our final season episode, a season 3 episode of Healthy Black Girl podcast. I will see y'all next season, child. Tracy is taking a break. Okay. Please make sure to follow Phontaine on social media. And so you guys will be in the know when everything drops. So you will be amongst the first to get your tickets. And again, thank you so much, Phontaine, for what you do.
Thank you.
All right, we will talk
Thanks
soon.
for listening to another episode of Healthy Black Girl Podcast. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms as Healthy Black Girl Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And you can follow me personally, Tracy Collins, on Instagram. See you next time.